Part 30. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 291. A good horse is worth 100 taels of silver. Fortunately, Kui Hejin gave her the banknote, otherwise she would not be able to buy the horse now. Of course Zhang Ziluo only brought 2 banknotes, 200 taels of silver, and she put the rest on the bedside. She doesn't know when she will go back, and she can't let Kui Hejin and Mrs. Kui have no money in their hands. I don't know what Kui Hejin's reaction will be when he finds out. He looked cold, but if he was unhappy, she could tell it. So when I came out, I really didn't dare to tell him this in person. To put it bluntly, she was still a little timid when facing Kui Hejin. Only because she owed him something in her previous life. When Zhang Ziluo thought of this, she had a headache. But the riding will not stop. Zhang Ziluo almost rushed on her horse, not daring to stop at all. When she was tired, she would drink the water from the spiritual spring herself and also give it to her horse. Moreover, use the wood power to extract energy from the leaves and feed it to the horse. The food she eats is also some of the food stored in her space. Even if she eats something simple, she will give the horse better food. Fortunately, with the spiritual spring water and the wood attribute, the horse can persevere. Hurrying on horseback for 5 days, we arrived at Jinsha Mansion. Zhang Ziluo found a place to place the horse temporarily according to her memory, and then quietly sneaked into a house. According to the time told to her in her sleep, at this time, the killers in black were here with Jiao Mengmeng. Tomorrow, they will take Jiao Mengmeng to force Yun Loxiao outside Zhangzhou city. Luckily she caught up. After entering the house, only one person was found, and there was no one else in the house. Zhang Ziluo's expression changed drastically. She fell from the sky and quickly took the man hostage. He put the dagger on the man's neck and said, "Where are your accomplices?" Zhang Ziluo is extremely fast, and she uses wood powers to hide herself, making it difficult for others to detect her whereabouts. What's more, the person who stayed to guard the house was of average ability. This man's face turned pale. He didn't expect that someone could take him hostage without anyone noticing. "I don't know what you are talking about. This is my home, my mansion. What do you want to do? I warn you that I will report it to the official." Zhang Ziluo was too lazy to talk nonsense, mainly because she was anxious and wanted to find Jiao Mengmeng quickly. The time told to her in the dream was this time. Jiao Mengmeng should be here, why isn't she? Or are you saying that the things in the dream are false? But before leaving, she went to the backyard of the academy. There were signs of a fight and blood. Just like everything the dream told her. It can only be said that some of the people who protected Jiao Mengmeng were killed, and Jiao Mengmeng was held hostage. These people really go to great lengths and are despicable. Zhang Ziluo put a pill directly into the man's mouth. "Tell me, where is your accomplice, where is the little girl?" The effect of the medicine melted in the mouth and took effect quickly. The man said mechanically, "They are taking people to Zhangzhou city. What will you do when you leave?" Those who left yesterday wanted to force the grandson to retreat. Even if the grandson does not retreat, if this little girl dies, it will ruin part of the grandson's reputation. Zhang Ziluo's eyes were filled with strong murderous intent. "Who instigated you to do this? Why did you attack her?" "It's the emperor's wish. My uncle arranged for us to do this." Zhang Ziluo wished she could run to Nanjing city now and kill all the emperor's people. The reason why the Wei family was charged with collaborating with the enemy and treason, and the prince was murdered, was also related to this emperor. Zhang Ziluo's heart was filled with crazy murderous intent, and her eyes were filled with a bloodthirsty cold light. However, she suppressed the surging murderous intention in her heart and continued to ask a few questions. Then he dealt with the people directly. Zhang Ziluo was worried. Why did the time advance? Everything was the same as in the dream, except that the time was moved forward 2 days. Zhang Ziluo's face suddenly changed. After going out, she whistled, got on her horse and rushed to Zhongcheng at a very fast speed. Outside the gate of Zhongcheng city, the general guarding the city waved his hand. A man in black came over holding Jiao Mengmeng hostage. He stood on the city wall, holding Jiao Mengmeng's neck with his hands, and shouted to the siege army outside the city, "Everyone, look who this is. A mere grandson, your highness, disguises himself as a woman in order to survive. He is really timid and fearful of trouble. I don't know why you people want to be loyal to such a coward and fearful person. You don't even want to lose face in order to survive. Haha, take a good look, this is the grandson's daughter. If you dare to attack the city, I will kill her. Of course, if Her Majesty the grandson kneels down, kills her legs, retreats, and vows not to attack again, I will spare her life. Your Highness, others say that you are as kind and wise as the prince. So many people have gone to you. Let's see what kind of person you are. Are you cruel and ruthless and don't care about your daughter's life? Or do you care about the soldiers? I risked my life for all those who came to you for the sake of your daughter." Ha 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 ha. Handled laughter echoed from the city walls. We were about to attack the city and capture another city, but we stopped here. Seeing this scene, Yun Loxiu's usually expressionless face changed, and everyone around him turned pale. It's just despicable. The counselor beside Taijun Yun Loxiu said, "That man is Lu Limen. Lu Limen is the son of Lu Qiuaju. Unexpectedly, he was sent here this time. They are deliberately humiliating His Highness. After they humiliate His Highness, they will not let him go. Uncle Lu Guo is ruthless, and Lu Limen is even more so. The Lu family has been cruel and ruthless not once or twice. Of course, the eldest prince is also the son of Empress Lu, and he is protected by Uncle Lu Guo behind his back. They are all of the same kind." Yun Loxiu looked at Jiao Mengmeng who was being held hostage. Jiao Mengmeng was actually very scared, but she knew she couldn't cry, so even though her neck hurt, she didn't cry, but her eyes were red. She saw her mother. No, she is not her mother now, but she was very happy when she saw her. Yun Loxiu's eyes trembled fiercely and her nose felt sore. Even though Mengmeng is the daughter of the eldest son of the Wei family, she has always been by his side. How could he let her lose her life? She is so sensible and well behaved, even if her body hurts when she is sick, she will reach out to comfort him first. The Wei family is full of loyal people, but only one Jiao Mengmeng is alive. She cannot let anything happen to Mengmeng. I sent hundreds of secret guards to protect Mengmeng and prevent anyone from knowing her information. I didn't expect that someone would find out. The counselor said, "There should be traitors. Obviously they are well prepared. Your Highness, you must not agree to them, they are humiliating you." Yun Loxiu closed her eyes hard. "I'll deal with him first to delay time, and you make arrangements to save people. Save people at all costs." The counselor's expression changed. "Your Highness. I have made up my mind, don't worry, I will attack the city after rescuing the people." Yun Loxiu would not believe the people of the Lu family. They had always been people who broke their promises. It's a little awkward. Here's the second update. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 292. The emperor today was still a person with a low status as a biological mother, and anyone in the palace could bully him. This man used a trick to get the prince to take care of him, and later he stayed with the prince. This man is very good at hiding, taking advantage of the prince's trust, and framed the prince step by step against the prince. Of course, the Lu family at that time was a noble family, and the Lu family also held military power, so they didn't look down on this lowly prince at all. So he used a strategy to make the Lu family's pampered daughter fall into the water at the banquet, and he just jumped into the water to save her. In full public view, the Lu family could only marry their daughter to this prince. From then on, with his plan and the help of the Lu family, he secretly dealt with the prince and murdered other princes. So he was the last one to ascend to that position. However, the Lu family is not unjust. The Lu family also has a domineering and ruthless style. Yun Loxiao rode forward slowly and arrived not far from the city gate, just outside the archery range. He looked at Lu Lihao and said, "You think if you do this, the emperor will reuse the Lu family and value the eldest prince. Now this emperor ascended the throne by killing his brother and his father, and relying on the help of your Lu family. Now that the Lu family has great achievements, the emperor is waiting to find some fault and punish the Lu family. The eldest prince rose to prominence too quickly. The emperor is in his prime. Do you think he will delegate power? You, the Lu family, might as well ask around and find out who the emperor's favorite prince is. It's not the eldest prince or the second prince. You are just people who were pulled out to attract fighting power. The person he pities the most is not the person who has the support of his mother's family. He treats himself the same as others. He pities a prince just like he pity himself. The current emperor was abused by people in the palace when he was a child. The previous emperor did not pay attention to him at all and did not care whether he lived or died. He almost died several times. If his father hadn't seen him later and took care of him secretly, he wouldn't have survived. Such a person has hated people like his father and other princes since he was a child, people who are valued by his father and supported by his mother's family. He felt why his father didn't pay attention to him and why he didn't have a maternal clan. He has low self-esteem, is sensitive and cruel. He was unwilling to give in, but no matter how unwilling he was, he still experienced the same things when he was a child. So when it comes to his princes, what he hates most is people like the eldest prince and the second prince. On the surface, he favored the eldest prince and the second prince. In fact, what he loved most was the fifth prince, who could easily be bullied due to his mother-in-law's status. Moreover, the fifth prince is still too young to compete for power and gain. He is in the prime of his life, so how can he allow others to sleep soundly beside him? So he wanted the eldest prince and the second prince to fight. Let them both lose, let them fight each other, no one can win, and he can sit firmly on the Diaotai. It will take many years for the fifth prince to grow up, so he is not in a hurry or worried. Although he has been pretending to be Miss Jiao's family and staying in the academy. But the news in the palace was always conveyed to him by someone. Although some of the spies left behind by the father, mother, concubine, and uncle have been eliminated, the secret ones have always been hidden in the dark. All the news in the palace is under his control. He also thoroughly analyzed everyone's psyche. Of course, if others pass on the news, it is easy to expose yourself if the news leaks. But they have a special way of transmitting news, and even if it is known to others, it will not be exposed. Speaking of which, the sixth girl of the Wei family told him the method of sending messages in code. That smart girl died in the fire like that. When he learned the news, he fell ill. So no matter what, he wants to save Meng Meng. Lu Lihao grew up in the Lu family. Although he is somewhat smart, he is extremely conceited and arrogant. It was also developed from his childhood living environment. Because the daughter of the Lu family is the queen, and the eldest prince is the eldest son, the power of the Lu family is at its peak, and everyone supports them. The more you support someone, the easier it is to become conceited and arrogant. Lu Lihao's expression also changed. Shut up, what qualifications do you have to say that? If you talk nonsense again, I will strangle her to death immediately. Xiao Mingmeng's face turned red, and it hurt so much that she couldn't breathe. But she endured it and tried hard to endure it. She didn't want to worry her mother. Yun Loxiao looked calm from beginning to end. Only he knew that the hand behind his back was saying, whether I'm talking nonsense, you know it yourself. You helped the emperor solve the problem and killed two birds with one stone. Do you think you can go back safely or will you be assassinated on the way? This is a good time to deal with you. Don't forget that the Lu family has been busy making wedding clothes for others. Furthermore, your Lu family has done such a crazy thing. Who do you think will obey your Lu family? Using a child as a bargaining chip is the way your Lu family behaves. What will your noble family think of you if they find out? Yun Loxiao spoke one sentence after another and quickly broke through Lu Lihao's psychological defense. Speak completely based on their pain points. Lu Lihao is not a very smart person. At this time, I felt a little panicked. He shouted loudly, shut up, don't say anything. Kneel down, or I'll kill her right away. Lu Lihao shouted. Hands became harder and harder, wanting to break Xiao Mingmeng's neck all at once. Zhang Ziluo had just eliminated the sniper archer hiding in the dark and killed him with a single blow. After the sharp archer died, Zhang Ziluo occupied the supreme position. Then pull the arrow, inject the wood attribute into the arrow, and shoot it out with a single shot. The arrow was a good arrow, with a sharp sound of breaking through the air. While Lu Lihao was distracted by anger, an arrow pierced his throat. Blood spurted out. His eyes widened and he stared, and his hands naturally relaxed. Yun Loxiao's expression changed drastically. Regardless of the shooting range of the city wall, he directly hit his horse and ran forward to save Xiao Mengmeng. The arrows on the city wall kept shooting out. Yun Loxiao jumped into the air, sweeping out the arrows while moving forward to save people. At the same time, the people behind reacted and shouted, "Attack the city, save people." But at the critical moment, Zhang Ziluo descended from the sky and hugged Xiao Mengmeng directly. At the same time, he used the wood attribute to block all the arrows on the city wall. In the eyes of everyone, she is like the mysterious goddess from the 9 heavens descending to earth. Many people were stunned. Yun Loxiao looked at her and was even more shocked. Zhang Ziluo couldn't care about anything else. Just now, her heart was pounding. Seeing that Xiao Mengmeng was still alive and breathing, she almost cried with joy. Zhang Ziluo quickly injected the wood power into Xiao Mengmeng's body. He even gave her a few sips of spiritual spring water. He took her to a safe place quickly. The battlefield ahead is left to Yun Loxiao and the others. Yun Loxiao quickly came to Zhang Ziluo. "You." Zhang Ziluo said, "Don't worry, she's fine." Yun Loxiao looked at her at this moment, with some guesses in his mind. "Who are you?" "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Space Doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Candy. Chapter 293. When asking this question, Yun Loxiao looked deeply at Zhang Ziluo, her voice trembling. He couldn't believe it, it felt like a dream. It feels a bit unreal. At this point, Zhang Ziluo no longer had the need to conceal her identity. Zhang Ziluo looked at Yun Loxiao and said, "Brother Taijun, I am King Luo." Yun Loxiao's eyes suddenly turned red. Yes, she is the only one in the world who would call him that. Even the intonation is the same. No wonder he felt an indescribable sense of familiarity about her when she first went to the academy. It turned out to be her. It's great that she is still alive. It turns out that she is like this when she grows up, and she is still so smart and capable. Unexpectedly, she has also been in Bizhu. Xiao Mengmeng kept coughing. Zhang Ziluo took out a silver needle and pricked her a few times, and she fell asleep. It would be better if she let her sleep. Yun Loxiao looked at Mengmeng distressedly and said, "Are you really okay?" Looking at the marks on her neck, endless killing intent surged in his heart. "The Lu family, your majesty, he will not let anyone go." Zhang Ziluo said, "Don't worry, it's okay. As for the scar on her neck, I'll apply some medicine on her and it won't leave any scars." Yun Loxiao actually had a lot of things to ask and say, but when it came to this moment, she didn't know what to ask and what to say. Just thinking that it would be good for her to be alive. It's good to be really alive. Zhang Ziluo listened to the sound of killing people at the city gate and said, "Go and do your business first. If you have anything else to do, wait until you finish it." Good. Yun Loxiao is not procrastinating. Now is the critical time to attack the city, and he needs to take command. We can only leave Jiao Mengmeng to her care first. Yun Loxiao is naturally very capable, not to mention the counselors and generals under him, especially Han Bingqi, although he is young, but he is a fierce general, and he is really risking his life in battle. That day, the city gate was breached. Yun Loxiao and his people occupied Zhangcheng with lightning speed. A few days later, he occupied the entire Zhangzhou. Yun Loxiao was strict in running the army. As long as he surrendered, his soldiers would not be allowed to hurt the people in the city. Nor is it allowed to use the people's needles and threads. Perhaps Yun Loxiao has a good reputation among the people since he called all the way. So after they entered the city, the people in the city were not afraid, and it did not affect what they should do when they went out to buy food. When the soldiers walked on the streets, they would be concerned about the people, for fear of bumping into the people in the city. Half a month later, the entire Zhangzhou returned to orderly order. Everyone should do what they should do. When the people in Zhangcheng went to the streets to buy vegetables with baskets in their hands, they couldn't help but discuss it. "It's better for us, Your Majesty the great-grandson." "No, that is the son of His Highness the Crown Prince. He was the wise prince before, but now he is the wise grandson." After the prince occupied Zhangzhou, he immediately reduced the taxes for us, so we no longer have to be exploited and pay so many taxes. That's right, and a notice has been posted. Although we are illiterate, I heard from the scholar that it is written on it that if the powerful bully others, they will be dealt with according to the new law, saying that they will support the common people. Not only that, but they also raided several families that were bullying others. The Ding family killed many people before, but now they have all been killed. It's really a relief. No, those people don't take human life seriously because they have connections with higher authorities, and now they are taken care of by His Highness Taijun. That's how good our great-grandson is. He also encourages us to reclaim wasteland. The reclaimed wasteland can be registered with the government office as our own land. There will be no tax on the grain cultivated in the first 2 years. Taxes will be imposed from the 3rd year on, and the tax rates will be the same. Rare. The food grown like this is enough to eat? No, those who don't have land don't have to work hard to find work outside. They can reclaim wasteland for planting. The common people don't care who is in power. They will support whoever can provide them with enough food and a stable and peaceful life. In the past, the emperor loved to have fun, and the court was corrupt. Officials protected each other and constantly oppressed and exploited the people. Everyone dares to be angry but dare not speak out. Taxes continue to increase, and everyone is complaining. But no matter how much they hate those in power, they dare not resist. If you resist, you will be beaten to death. Even if I ask a few more questions, the government officials will start to intimidate and bully me. They can only endure the grievances, tighten their belts, and drink some wild vegetable rice soup every day. It will be good if they can survive. There is a lot of anger accumulated in everyone's heart. Now that His Highness Taijun has taken charge of Zhangzhou, their taxes have been reduced a lot. As long as everyone works hard, not only can we have enough to eat, but we can also save more food. The government servants and officials who had bullied others before were all punished by Taijun. They all went to watch when the people were beheaded. Looking at it makes me feel very relieved. They even took out rotten eggs, rotten vegetable leaves and threw them away. It can be regarded as an exaggeration. So no need to ask, the one everyone loves the most is the grandson. He supported his grandson as emperor. This is the simplest idea in the minds of the people. Zhang Ziluo accidentally heard such a sound when she took Xiao Mengmeng out for shopping. Xiao Mengmeng said quietly, "Auntie, they are saying good things about daddy." Since the grandson regained his identity, Xiao Mengmeng was very sensible and did not call her mother or father. Some people wanted to correct the title, but the grandson stopped him. Even if he ascended the throne and became emperor, Mengmeng would still be his daughter. He will give Mengmeng the title of princess. No one has any objection to His Highness Taizhen's decision. As for Zhang Ziluo's identity, no one knows. Yun Loxiao did not announce Zhang Ziluo's identity to the outside world, which was also Zhang Ziluo's intention. Yun Loxiao thought for a moment and was worried that it would bring danger to Zhang Ziluo, so she did not announce the identity of the daughter of the Wei family for the time being. Of course, Zhang Ziluo told Xiao Mengmeng in private. So now Xiao Mengmeng calls her aunt one after another. Perhaps because it was Zhang Ziluo who saved her that day, so she is now very dependent on Zhang Ziluo. After a few days of good recovery, Xiao Mengmeng also regained her energy. Seeing her so sensible, Zhang Ziluo felt very sorry for her. I was also afraid that she would have psychological problems, so I took her out for a walk. Come out and have some fun. Although it's winter now, Zhangzhou is close to the south and it's not too cold. However, the two of them still wore thick clothes and went out. Walking on the street, smelling the fragrance of the food stalls, Zhang Ziluo asked, "Is there anything you want to eat?" Xiao Mengmeng originally wanted to nod, but as if she thought of something, she shook her head and said, "Auntie, I had dinner this morning. I'm not hungry and I don't want to eat." Although she was still young, she remembered that she accidentally overheard a conversation between her father and the counselor uncle. It seems that dad is a little short of money now, so she has to be sensible and not spend money. Zhang Ziluo looked at Xiao Mengmeng's eyes. A child's eyes can't deceive. Obviously I want to eat it, but I hold it back. Very sensible. Zhang Ziluo stepped forward and asked, "How much does this fried candy cake cost?" "Little lady, this is 6 cents a piece." Zhang Ziluo took out 12 coins and said, "Buy 2. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Feng Yuan Candy. Chapter 294. "Okay, little lady, please wait a moment." The fried cakes were freshly fried. After they were fried, he wrapped them in oil paper and handed one to Xiao Mengmeng and one to her. The two of them walked around and ate like this. Xiao Mengmeng blew hard and the temperature was just right, then she bit into it. "Auntie, it's delicious." Xiao Mengmeng's voice is soft and cute. Zhang Ziluo saw that she was eating happily, and she also had a strong appetite. Zhang Ziluo smiled and said, "As long as it tastes good, if you want to eat anything else, my aunt will buy it for you." Zhang Ziluo felt sorry for Xiao Mengmeng, not to mention that she was still her eldest brother's daughter. When she was a child, her eldest brother and the others pampered her so much, so naturally she also wanted to pamper Xiao Mengmeng. This is the little girl from their Wei family. Thinking about Xiao Mengmeng being poisoned again, Zhang Ziluo's nose felt sore. However, she used acupuncture and wood powers to control the worms in Xiao Mengmeng's body. It can temporarily suppress Xiao Mengmeng and prevent the poison from taking effect. But after the matter here is settled, Zhang Ziluo plans to go to southern Xinjiang herself to find the medicinal materials from southern Xinjiang to cure Xiao Mengmeng. I didn't know the identities of Yun Loxiao and Xiao Mengmeng before, but now that I know, she can't ignore them. In any case, Zhang Ziluo is also very grateful to Yun Loxiao. Thanks to him for taking good care of Mengmeng in the past few years. If Yun Loxiao hadn't taken good care of Mengmeng and used precious medicinal materials to help Xiao Mengmeng might not be alive today. "Auntie, I'm full after eating this." Although Xiao Mengmeng is young, she is also very sensible. She remembered that her aunt used to sell bread to make money, and some people laughed at her. So she can't spend her aunt's money. Suddenly, the little girl seemed to think of something and patted her pocket. "Auntie, I have some copper coins here. I will buy some delicious food for my auntie." This is the book bag that Yun Loxio had someone sew for Chiao Meng Meng. She put some coins in it so that she could buy whatever she liked. Of course, Yun Loxio will ask her subordinates to buy some big things for Chiao Meng Meng. Zhang Ziluo was amused when she saw how big a kid she was. "Auntie is reluctant to spend your pocket money." Zhang Ziluo thought that Chiao Meng Meng might know that it was not easy for them to make money, so she was sensible enough not to spend her money. Looks like she wants to find a way to make more money. No matter what Yun Loxio or she wants to do for the Wei family, they need money. She had no identity protection before, so she had to be cautious when doing business. But no longer used. With the protection of His Royal Highness, Zhang Ziluo can do many things freely. You can also get your grandson to invest in the business. With the great-grandson as his protection, no one dared to do anything behind his back. So stores can be opened, and restaurants can also be opened. And she found that there are a lot of good things here in Zhangzhou. For example, river shrimps, hairy crabs, and other seafood from the river and some Zhangzhou specialties that local people don't even know how to eat. Especially don't know how to eat shrimps and hairy crabs. This is delicious. Zhang Ziluo wants to open a restaurant specifically in Hezhu. Previously, the owner behind the number 1 restaurant in Hezhu was raided and punished for bullying the people. The restaurant was naturally closed. This restaurant naturally belongs to Yun Loxia. If she reopens the restaurant, she can use this restaurant. It doesn't require much decoration, just prepare the dishes. So it is easy to open a restaurant. If you open a restaurant, you can open a chain hotel according to the menu. Of course, if you want to reopen a restaurant and do business successfully, you must have special food. She can make spicy crab, stuffed prawns in oil, steamed shrimps with garlic paste, etc. Zhang Ziluo feels that food culture in this era is relatively backward, and many foods are not presented. She can definitely make these foods. Let everyone enjoy some delicious food. Zhang Ziluo took Chiao Meng Meng out for shopping, also to inspect the market in Zhangzhou and see what kind of business there was. Not only a restaurant, she also wants to open a rouge and gouache shop. Rouge and gouache stores can also open chain stores. Zhang Ziluo temporarily plans to do these two businesses. In terms of manpower, there are many people in Zhangzhou who can be used. This number 1 restaurant was closed down before, many families were convicted, and many people were not registered as slaves. Zhang Ziluo could save some people if there was no problem. There are also the chefs in the restaurant kitchen. They are the ones involved. If there is no problem, she can use them directly. Just when Zhang Ziluo was taking Chiao Meng Meng shopping, a gust of wind suddenly blew by. For some reason, Zhang Ziluo turned her head unexpectedly, and then saw a figure wearing a black cloak. He is tall and tall, wearing black clothes and a cloak, giving people a very mysterious feeling. As he walked around, his clothes moved automatically without any wind, giving him an ethereal and fairy-like feeling. But it gives people a very dangerous feeling. When she looked over, she couldn't see the man's face clearly because it was blocked by his cloak. Zhang Ziluo had a very strange feeling in her heart. Xiaolan, is this person in danger? Zhang Ziluo uses her mind to communicate with the space elves. Yes, now the space elves have absorbed a lot of wood supernatural powers, absorbed the natural breath, and their abilities have become stronger. When they wake up from their slumber, they can help Zhang Ziluo discern a lot of information. Master, I can't see through this person. Elf Xiaolan can know the information about ordinary people, but Elf Xiaolan can't see through this person, which shows that this person is very strong. Zhang Ziluo nodded and said, "That's all, don't worry about this." Zhang Ziluo continued to lead Chiao Meng Meng forward. But she didn't know that as she was walking forward, the man in black cloak suddenly stopped and turned his head to look over. Just for a moment, he continued to move forward, as if everything just now was just a small episode. Just then, a girl came out of the store in front, walked forward in a hurry, and bumped into Xiao Mengmeng. Xiao Mengmeng lowered her head to eat. Maybe she didn't pay attention, she stumbled, and the fried cake in her hand suddenly touched her clothes and fell to the ground. You are looking for death. The woman gave Xiao Mengmeng a hard push. Nearly pushed Xiao Mengmeng to the ground. It was Zhang Ziluo who quickly supported Xiao Mengmeng. Xiao Mengmeng's eyes widened and she shrank instinctively. Xiao Mengmeng was almost killed before, so she was frightened and her courage actually became smaller. She turned pale and trembled after being pushed and touched like this. The woman got angry on the spot and said, "You are looking for death. If you dare to soil my skirt, teach these two untouchables a lesson." Zhang Ziluo felt incredible when she heard what this woman said. Now that Yun Loxiao is stationed in Zhangzhou, he has issued political decrees that do not allow high-ranking officials to bully ordinary people. This woman still dares to do this in broad daylight. She is either brainless or confident. Zhang Ziluo quickly blocked Xiao Mengmeng behind her and said sharply, "Let me see who dares to bully others. You apologize to my Mengmeng." Zhang Ziluo narrowed her eyes dangerously and stared at the woman in front of her. "Ha, apologize, who do you think you are? You can still make me apologize. Teach them a lesson." The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Candy. Chapter 295. Chapter 295 Important News, Second Update. The woman beside the woman persuaded in a low voice, "Miss, His Majesty the grandson will not allow anyone to fight on the street now." The woman looked at Zhang Ziluo's appearance, with a jealous and cruel look in her eyes and said, "My grandson has so many things to do, how can he have time to take care of such trivial matters? Besides, why should I teach a lesson? Your grandson can still argue with me. Besides, if I don't teach these two untouchables a lesson, my great-grandson will also take it out on me." Chai Jinjian looked proud. She didn't take Zhang Ziluo and Xiao Mengmeng seriously at all. She even thought about cutting Zhang Ziluo's face on the spot. "What are you waiting for? Come up here and teach them a lesson." With that said, Cai Jinjian raised her head high, looked at Zhang Ziluo with contempt and said, "Or if you kneel down, apologize and beg for mercy, I might spare your life." Cai Jinjian played with the long nails in her hands and stepped forward to cut Zhang Ziluo's face with her own hands. A guard and a woman beside her also stepped forward to restrain Zhang Ziluo. Zhang Ziluo immediately held Cai Jinjian's hand and exerted force. There was a click and Cai Jinjian's hand was broken. Ah! Chai Jinjian was in severe pain. As for the guards, mother-in-law and maids beside her, they were all beaten to the ground by Zhang Ziluo 3 or 2 times. "You dare, do you know who I am? How dare you do this to me? I think you don't want to stay in Zhangzhou anymore, you are looking for death. I am Miss Cai's family, if I, Cai's family, crush you to death, it's as easy as crushing an ant to death." The corner of Zhang Ziluo's mouth curled up in a mocking arc, "I don't care who you are. If you want to bully others, it depends on whether I answer with my fist." With that said, Zhang Ziluo stepped forward, grabbed Miss Cai's hair, and pressed her hard to the ground. Bump! Miss Cai was directly pushed to the ground hard. Zhang Ziluo forced her to kneel down in front of Xiao Mengmeng, "Apologize to my Mengmeng. Ah! Bitch, if you dare, I will never let you go, and my father will never let you go." Cai Jinjian roared and screamed. After a while, many people on the street gathered around to watch. Zhang Ziluo said loudly, "You, Miss Cai, bumped into the little girl. Not only did you not apologize, you also wanted to bully the little girl and threatened us with the Cai family. Is this your CAI family's style of dealing with things? I want to learn from you. The faces of the people watching changed when they heard about the CAI family. Miss CAI's family. I heard that Miss CAI's family is going to be kept under the supervision of His Majesty the Grand Sunday. Yes, whoever dares to mess with Miss CAI at this time may become the Empress in the future. Miss CAI's family is not worthy of such a good grandson. But the CAI family is a salt merchant, and they have money and food. If the daughter of the CAI family follows His Highness the Grandson, the CAI family will naturally use money and food to support His Highness the Grandson. This young master is quite understanding, but that's right. My grandson doesn't allow his soldiers to take our common people's stitches, threads, and grains of rice. Then what do the soldiers eat? With the help of the CAI family, we can indeed solve a lot of hunger problems. As everyone was discussing this, Zhang Ziluo's expression changed slightly. That's not the case, right? A smart person like Yun Loxio would naturally not use this as a bargaining chip. Besides, this Miss CAI family is not worthy of Yun Loxio at all. But she also understood Yun Loxio. If this arrangement was really made, Yun Loxio would be able to obtain money and food for the people under his command just by sacrificing himself. Furthermore, Yun Loxio also had principles in doing things. Although some corrupt officials and big families who oppressed the people were implicated, the food and money were not enough for the army. Yun Loxio always has to find a way. At this time, Cai Jinjian was still cursing. Zhang Ziluo once again used her mind to communicate with Elf Xiaolan. Xiaolan, what's going on? Master, this person is the legitimate daughter of the Cai family, but she was born to the first wife. When she was 2 years old, the original wife of the Cai family died. The head of the Cai family married a stepwife. The stepwife did not dare to abuse Cai Jinjian in person, but she treated Cai Jinjian with praise and death. The stepwife's own children were well educated, but this daughter-in-law was raised to be vicious, arrogant, and domineering. But the head of the Cai family has feelings for his first wife. He doesn't know what's going on in the backyard, let alone how deep a woman's thoughts can be. He only thinks that this lady loves Cai Jinjian. Now the head of the Cai family is indeed negotiating with His Highness Taijun to give Cai Jinjian to His Highness Taijun. He is thinking that after Taijun inherits the throne, Cai Jinjian will also be a noble concubine. It's just that His Highness the Grandson didn't agree. Since the space elf Little Blue regained great abilities, it can know many things. Zhang Ziluo raised her eyebrows and asked, then Yun Loxio agreed? There is no agreement. His Highness Taijun is negotiating with the head of the Cai family. This head of the Cai family is a tough guy. He relies on his ancestors' kindness to Yun Guo and has an iron certificate in the alchemy book. He will not buy it at all. And because of the iron seal of the Danshu, the grandson cannot touch the Cai family. Because this is an iron certificate issued by Emperor Taiju of the Yun Kingdom. If the Cai family is disturbed, His Highness Taijun will implement it. Hearing this, Zhang Ziluo understood what was going on. She narrowed her eyes and said, then the Cai family has a lot of food and money. Xiaolan said, the Cai family is the most wealthy family in Zhangzhou. They have the final say in Zhangzhou. They run the salt industry all year round and buy a lot of grain. It's just that the grandson doesn't know where the Cai family's food is stored, so the grandson can only deal with him first. If this Cai Jinjian didn't mess with her, she might not care about so many things. But since Cai Jinjian offended her, she had to take care of it. Xiaolan, if you say that Yun Loxio wants to punish them after the Cai family loses the iron certificate of the alchemy book, don't you need to worry so much? Xiaolan said, of course. Without the ironclad book of elixirs, the Cai family would not dare to be so arrogant. Zhang Ziluo continued to communicate with Xiaolan Tong with her mind. Besides, Such a big family can't really be so clean. Yes, yes, there are important secret messages in the CAI family's study. The CAI family colluded with the court and corrupt officials to murder others. Zhang Ziluo asked, then do you know where their iron certificates of elixirs are kept? I know, there is a mechanism in the secret room in the abandoned yard in the backyard of CAI's family. Xiaolan told Zhang Ziluo all the information. Then do you know the location of the granary? Xiaolan suddenly said, Master, my energy is not enough. I need to sleep deeply. I will tell the master the news in 2 days. If Xiaolan tells Zhang Ziluo some important news, it will consume a lot of energy. So sometimes it consumes too much energy and needs to rest. Gang Ziluo will quickly enhance the wood ability to replenish it with energy. But the information we know right now is enough. Zhang Ziluo is preparing to visit the CAI family at night. Zhang Ziluo looked at Cai Jinjian, who was wailing and cursing, and snorted coldly, apologize. If you don't apologize, believe it or not, I will scratch your face with your nails. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Space Doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 296. Cai Jinjian's scalp was painful from being pulled. She didn't have much hair to begin with, and now she hated Zhang Ziluo even more. But when she looked up at Zhang Ziluo's expression, she saw the murderous intent in her eyes. For some reason, Cai Jinjian trembled violently. She shivered uncontrollably, a little afraid of the woman in front of her. Furthermore, her nails are indeed very long. If she accidentally scratches her face, His Majesty the grandson will probably not look at her once her face is disfigured. At that time, her father probably couldn't even make decisions for her. No, there must be nothing wrong with her face. Just for a moment, after Cai Jinjian figured it out, she apologized uncontrollably, I'm sorry. Apologize well and tell me the reason. Zhang Ziluo felt that Cai Jinjian was not a good person, and she might not know what she was planning to do next. Indeed, Cai Jinjian wanted to apologize first and go home. Later, she would ask someone to punish Zhang Ziluo, make her kneel down and apologize to her, and then kill her. Her Cai family has an iron book on alchemy, and it is not easy to kill someone. No, I want to destroy her appearance and then kill her. Look at whether she was on her knees crying and begging for mercy. Thinking like this, Cai Jinjian had a sinister look in her eyes. Zhang Ziluo knew that Cai Jinjian was not a good person, so Zhang Ziluo could clearly see the sinister look in Cai Jinjian's eyes. Of course, Zhang Ziluo will solve the Cai family's affairs. Without the Cai family's protection, Cai Jinjian can't do anything. Chai Jinjian could only endure the viciousness and anger and said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't hit you, I shouldn't scold you. After Cai Jinjian apologized, Zhang Ziluo let go of her hair and said, get out. After Cai Jinjian left with her guards and maids, Zhang Ziluo also pulled Qiao Mengmeng away. The onlookers also dispersed. Qiao Mengmeng looked at Zhang Ziluo with admiring eyes. Zhang Ziluo was worried that Qiao Mengmeng had psychological shadow, and wanted to take her to find a quiet place to sit and look at the scenery. But at this moment, Zhang Ziluo discovered that there really was no such quiet and elegant environment suitable for girls to drink tea and relax. As for the restaurant, although there are private rooms, the restaurant is noisy and the smell of alcohol is strong. Most of the tea houses are occupied by men, and they are noisily talking about business. There are no resting benches on the streets. So for a while, Zhang Ziluo didn't know where to take Qiao Mengmeng to sit and rest. If this were in modern times, you could sit and relax with a cup of tea in coffee shops and milk tea shops. But there is no such place here. Suddenly Zhang Ziluo's expression changed. She wondered if she could open a milk tea shop and cafe in Zhangzhou. Especially when the weather is cold in winter, drinking a cup of milk tea will warm your whole body and make you very comfortable. Moreover, milk tea shops can also open chain stores throughout Yong'o. Create an elegant and comfortable place where women can sit and talk. The decoration style of the private room should be more comfortable and elegant. The key to opening a milk tea cafe is the decoration and the milk tea and coffee. In modern times, many people like to drink milk tea very much. In this era, there were not so many drinks. Men could drink, but women seemed to have little to drink, let alone wine. If milk tea is introduced, it should be more popular. Moreover, Zhangzhou is a good place, close to water, with convenient transportation and abundant supplies. It is rich in glutinous rice, etc. You can put glutinous rice dumplings in milk tea. With this idea, Zhang Ziluo suddenly thought that she could open a milk tea coffee shop here. And there was no coffee in this era. Milk tea is easy to make, the key is coffee. As long as you have coffee beans, you can grind coffee. Coffee beans are found in the south. If the merchants can deliver the goods via cargo ships, they can indeed consider this matter. Thinking about this, Zhang Ziluo continued to inspect the market. Zhang Ziluo took Qiao Mengmeng away for a while and asked, "Are you tired?" Qiao Mengmeng still looked excited, shook her head and said, "I'm not tired." Not only was she not tired, she also looked at Zhang Ziluo with admiring eyes. "Auntie is just so awesome." Zhang Ziluo smiled softly and said, "So we Mengmeng, don't be afraid, aunt will protect you. When Mengmeng grows up, he will also protect his aunt." Zhang Ziluo was warmed by the little girl's words. Hearing these words, I felt heartbroken and moved. Just like that, Zhang Ziluo took Qiao Mengmeng for a walk and then took her back. When Zhang Ziluo and Qiao Mengmeng went back, Yun Loxiao was still busy in the study. Neither of them bothered him. In the evening, Yun Loxiao happened to have time and asked to have dinner together. Of course, ever since I came to Zhangzhou, Zhang Ziluo took Qiao Mengmeng to dinner when she was busy on weekdays. Yun Loxiao naturally had servants to take care of her. And he is very busy. Sometimes he doesn't eat until midnight. During dinner in the evening, Zhang Ziluo only focused on taking care of Qiao Mengmeng. Yun Loxiao looked at Zhang Ziluo and hesitated to speak. Zhang Ziluo didn't pay attention to anything, she was still thinking about the Cai family. After all, it was Yun Loxiao who said, "You don't want to ask me about the Cai family." Zhang Ziluo stopped her movements and said, "I know you must have your reasons for doing things. Even though His Highness Taijun is taking good care of her now, she is always wary of herself. This is His Highness Taijun, and future emperors must not make mistakes. The reason why she stayed here after conquering Zhangzhou was because of Qiao Mengmeng's health. She is adjusting Qiao Mengmeng. Another reason is that Yun Loxiao has some information about her eldest brother. At least, she probably knows now that her eldest brother should still be alive. Moreover, Yun Loxiao, like her, was also investigating the matter when the Wei family was falsely accused of collaborating with the enemy and treason. So she also wants to avenge the Wei family. As for Kui Hejin and others in Donghe village, she will also think of them. Just thinking about their stable and safe life in Donghe village made Zhang Ziluo feel relieved. As long as they are safe, she can do something without any worries. Kui Hejin must not be involved. Yun Loxiao said, "The Cai family has colluded with the officials in the capital. They have also hoarded a large amount of gold, silver, and grain. If I take action rashly, it is indeed possible, but I may not be able to find out where they hide the gold, silver, and grain. Besides, the Cai family has iron certificates issued by Emperor Taizhu. If I touch them, I will be unfilial and disobey Taizhu's arrangements. So some things can only be dealt with in roundabout ways." As for the rumors about Miss Cai's family, the Cai family has this intention, but I will not agree to it. Yun Loxio will not use these as bargaining chips. Once Miss Cai becomes someone around him, it will be a knife to the Cai family, which will further encourage their arrogance. At that time, no one was even more angry about anything the Cai family did, and they even thought it was his intention. Even now, the Cai family is taking advantage of his reputation to do things. Otherwise, how could Miss Cai's family dare to ignore his orders and bully people on the street? The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 297. Zhang Ziluo was stunned when she heard these words. She didn't even think about taking care of Yun Loxio's affairs. She only wanted to find the Wei family, avenge the Wei family, and cure Ming Meng's health. Once the Wei family can be rehabilitated, then if the Wei family's army and the Wei family's mansion are still alive, if there are still survivors, can they come out and live an honest life? There is no need to hide, and there is no need to be afraid of anything. And what the court owes them should also be compensated. Those soldiers who died, and their families and relatives should not be cast aside, and their pensions should also be paid out. During this period, Zhang Ziluo also recovered some memories. Through the memories in her mind and some information from recent investigations, she is making up for the lives of those who died in the Wei army. She wants to sort out all these people. She cannot let anyone in the Wei family army suffer unjust injustice, and their families deserve good and proper resettlement. This is what Zhang Ziluo wants to do. As a member of the Wei family who is still alive, she wants to complete the unfinished business of the Wei family. If anyone in the Wei family was still alive, they would do the same thing. Although the Wei family is a general's residence, she has known from as far back as she can remember that the Wei family has been using the money they earn to accommodate injured soldiers and retired soldiers as much as possible. The court gave a little bit of money to injured soldiers and retired soldiers, regardless of what happened to them later. The former emperor may even withhold and default on the money. The Wei family can only make up for it themselves. So even though the Wei family is a general's palace, they have always lived a frugal life, and their food and clothing expenses have been reduced. Fortunately, Grandma's eldest aunt, second aunt, and her mother all have dowry houses and shops, which also produce output. It is a pity that after the Wei family was charged with collaborating with the enemy and treason, all those things were confiscated by the court and put into the national treasury or into the private treasury of the late emperor. Thinking of this, Zhang Ziluo's eyes filled with an icy cold light. But now she also knew that it was not easy for Yun Loxio. Furthermore, she was grateful to Yun Loxio for protecting Qiao Mengmeng. And that day under the city wall, she could see that Yun Loxio did not care about her own danger in order to save Qiao Mengmeng. It's just that she didn't expect Yun Loxio to explain this to her. I didn't care at all what Miss Cai's identity would be in the future anyway. She wanted to bully Mengmeng, so I endured it without slapping her on the spot. If I can get the iron certificate of the alchemy book and know the location of the Cai family's gold and silver and granary, you won't have to worry so much. Yun Loxio actually trusts Zhang Ziluo and will tell Zhang Ziluo so many things. Otherwise, he is used to keeping his emotions and thoughts introverted, and even his subordinate counselors will not know what he is thinking. He tapped his finger lightly on the table and said, "That's true. Aren't you afraid that the Cai family will come up with fake alchemy certificates?" Yun Loxio explained, "The iron coupons of the alchemy book cannot be counterfeited. If the Cai family dared to come up with a fake one, the officials and soldiers following me would be able to recognize it at a glance. At that time, the Cai family was also accused of bullying the emperor. They would not dare to." After a pause, Yun Loxio said, "And I will let people create rumors outside, saying that the Cai family has no iron certificate for the alchemy book at all, or that the Cai family is disrespectful to the ancestors and lost the iron certificate for the alchemy book. No matter which one, Cai family, everyone will fall into a passive situation, and it will be easier for us to do things. Zhang Ziluo understood. She nodded and said, so the iron coupon of the elixir book is still the key. Yes, for the Cai family, it is precisely because of the iron book of elixirs that they dare to rely on it. Only then could I dare to think of reaching His Highness Taijun. Otherwise, a normal family, no matter how powerful the aristocratic family is, would not dare to force His Highness the grandson in words or deeds. The Cai family dared. The Cai family is used to acting in a strong manner. Don't worry, things will definitely be resolved. Zhang Ziluo looked calm and calm. She went to visit the Cai family in the evening. Yun Loxiao nodded and said, although the Cai family hides the iron certificate of the alchemy book tightly, I have arranged for someone to quietly investigate the Cai family, and we will have some clues soon. Zhang Ziluo knew that Yun Loxiao had a team of secret guards. These are the royal guards. It was also left to Yun Loxiao by the great-grandson. Not only the great-grandson's power, but also the people Yun Loxiao trained when he was a child are now there. Speaking of which, thank you for reminding me when you were a child. Yes, Zhang Ziluo has shown super talent since she was 2 years old. Although Yun Loxiao met Zhang Ziluo when she was 4 years old. But after her reminder, after Yun Loxiao returned, he asked people to find some people around his age to train his own secret guards. No one knows about Yun Loxiao's group of forces. Even Zhang Ziluo has just found out. Yes, although Yun Loxiao has been disguising himself as a woman and staying in the academy for so many years, he has actually done a lot of things secretly. No one knows, and no one can doubt anything. This man's planning and strategizing abilities are shocking. Moreover, the court officials change, and the information of the court officials. It was also because of this man's ability that he was able to attract so many people to follow him at an extremely fast speed, and he conquered most of the country in one fell swoop. Forced the current emperor and officials to leave the capital and cross Zhangzhou to the south. And he not only has the ability to control people, but also has military talent. Zhang Ziluo said, I didn't do anything. She later forgot some things from her childhood, and now she slowly has some vague memories. The reason why she reminded him was because she felt the subtle atmosphere of the court when she was a child. Furthermore, His Highness the grandson led so many secret guards and was able to be assassinated and injured. It can only be said that someone leaked his whereabouts. At that time, only the emperor and the prince knew his whereabouts. The prince would not harm Yun Loxiao, only the emperor at that time, who would later become the late emperor. The prince is also wise and the grandson is wise and capable. Most of the officials in the court only obey the prince and not the emperor. The common people only knew the virtuous prince and did not recognize the emperor at all. How could the emperor at that time not feel resentful? Furthermore, the emperor at that time was afraid of the great achievements of the Wei family, so she understood at a very young age that if she wanted the Wei family to do well, she must support the prince. It's a pity that she was still young at that time and couldn't do many things. So she asked her third brother to quietly remind her grandson to make preparations in advance. I didn't understand it very well when I was a child, and I didn't say much. Yun Loxiao said with a smile, do you think what your third brother said is what your third brother thinks? For it. At that time, she did ask the third brother to tell the grandson, and let the third brother say that it was his wish. Did the third brother say anything else? Your third brother is my companion. I know his temperament. He can't think of those things. What he usually talks about his sister and sister must also be what you mean. Yun Loxiao's words are not lies. He is truly grateful to the sister of the Wei family. She was smart when she was a child, and she became even smarter when she grew up. Some of the strategies she casually came up with can benefit the country and the people. If she were a man, she would definitely be able to make great achievements and be famous in history. It involves some details and preparations, and there are tactics. It is written relatively slowly. One chapter is revised, and the update is a bit slow. Today, I will give you 2 updates. Don't worry, I will definitely update it every day. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Candy. Chapter 298. Yun Loxio felt uncomfortable thinking about her former friend Sanlang Wei. Thinking of her third brother, Zhang Ziluo's eyes turned red. The third brother was so good. My third brother is sincere to others when he returns home. He will often mention His Majesty the Grand Sunday. When he mentions you, his eyes will shine. I think he may also really like to stay with you to study and study. Yun Loxio nodded and said, he is also my best brother. He is regarded as the best brother by his grandson. If the third brother knew about it, he would be flattered. In any case, this is His Highness Taijun, not someone with any other status. If my elder brother knew that Meng Meng was taken care of so well by you, he would definitely be very grateful and happy. Yun Loxio said, it's a pity that when something happened to the Wei family, I couldn't arrange for people to find him at the border as soon as possible. If I could find him, maybe he can be fine now. Yes, now Zhang Ziluo also knows that her elder brother did not die on the battlefield. But the eldest brother was seriously injured at that time. His appearance was completely disfigured, and even the enemy thought it was just a corpse. After the war, a woman rescued her eldest brother and took him deep into the mountains. The reason why there has been no news about the eldest brother is that he was seriously injured and has been unconscious. That woman was the one who took care of my eldest brother in those years. Later, the eldest brother woke up and had Qiao Mengmeng with the woman. But they didn't know what happened. They were hunted down and assassinated. The woman arranged for Qiao Mengmeng to be sent to Yan State. It just so happened that Yun Loxio's secret guards had been checking in there to find out the news, and by chance they rescued the man and Qiao Mengmeng. After seeing the token, I learned some news. Not long after Qiao Mengmeng was rescued, the person who escorted Qiao Mengmeng died of serious injuries. Moreover, the whereabouts of the eldest brother and the woman are unknown. I don't know whether I am dead or alive. Yun Loxio said, I have been sending people to look for news about them, but there is no news. The person escorting Qiao Mengmeng is not weak, otherwise he would not have broken through the siege and fought his way out, so the woman's identity may not be ordinary. Zhang Ziluo was also very confused. Who on earth can assassinate the eldest brother and that woman? If it's not because of the elder brother's identity, then it's because of that woman's identity. Zhang Ziluo was thinking about this matter as she spoke. Suddenly he seemed to think of something and said, Meng Meng, do you still remember the memories from before you were 1 year old? Although normally she would not remember it, Zhang Ziluo still asked. Qiao Mengmeng shook her head and said, I can't remember. Qiao Mengmeng is very sensible and can understand what adults say. Zhang Ziluo suddenly seemed to think of something and said, the cute voodoo bug was infested before it was 1 year old, and this is related to southern Xinjiang. Tell me, is that woman related to southern Xinjiang? There are poisonous insects in southern Xinjiang. It could be a power struggle, and people from southern Xinjiang went to assassinate the woman. If this is the guess, it makes sense. Yun Loxio's expression changed when he heard this analysis. Maybe it's possible. In that case, I will arrange for people to go to southern Xinjiang to explore. But I sent 2 groups of people to southern Xinjiang to look for fragrant purple grass, but there was no news from those 2 groups. I'm worried that they might all die as soon as they enter southern Xinjiang. This is something that makes people feel serious. Zhang Ziluo was thoughtful. It seemed that the situation in southern Xinjiang was more complicated and dangerous than imagined. But maybe this is also a clue. Since there is news that the eldest brother is alive, Yun Loxio's secret guards are all the same, maybe they are really in southern Xinjiang. Zhang Ziluo felt a little excited when she thought that she could see her eldest brother and that he was still alive. After the matter here is resolved, Zhang Ziluo wants to go to southern Xinjiang and visit it in person. Go there even if it's dangerous. Qiao Mengmeng is the eldest brother's daughter, so she must find the fragrant violet to save Mengmeng. Furthermore, maybe we can find my eldest brother. Thinking of this, Zhang Ziluo's expression was firm. Of course Yun Loxio didn't know this. After the two people talked and had dinner, Zhang Ziluo took Qiao Mengmeng to bed, while Yun Loxio had to go to the study to handle some things. Zhang Ziluo looked at Yun Loxio with sympathetic eyes. Zhang Ziluo knew that Yun Loxio got up before dawn every day and went to bed very late at night. It's really busy. Zhang Ziluo could see the blue marks under Yun Loxio's eyes when she was eating, and she looked like she hadn't had a good rest. Mere persuasion is of no use. Because he does have a lot to deal with. If you want to manage the few states you conquered well, you have to be so busy. In fact, he can let his subordinates handle it. But just after conquering half of the country and the people were able to live and work in peace and contentment, Yun Loxio would rather work harder and want to personally review some things. He was worried that some of his subordinates would work in secret and not do practical things for the people. Similarly, although Yun Loxio has many trustworthy people, some of his subordinates defected to him halfway. How can he be completely trusted? Zhang Ziluo shook her head and took Qiao Mengmeng to wash up and go to bed. Qiao Mengmeng blinked her big eyes as if she didn't want to sleep. Sleep well. Zhang Ziluo was still thinking of putting Qiao Mengmeng to sleep so that she could go out. When Zhang Ziluo accompanied Qiao Mengmeng, she seemed to feel that her brothers were still there. So when facing Qiao Mengmeng, Zhang Ziluo was extremely gentle. "Auntie, I want to hear a story." Yes, the little girl now likes to listen to Zhang Ziluo telling stories the most. The stories Zhang Ziluo tells are all stories that do not exist in this era. They are all modern children's stories. But there are also some historical stories mixed in. For example, hearing the chicken dance, chiseling the wall to steal the light, looking at the plum blossoms to quench thirst, etc. She wanted Qiao Mengmeng to be enlightened while listening to stories. The little girl looked at Zhang Ziluo with soft and cute eyes, and her voice was as sweet as a coquettish one. Zhang Ziluo couldn't resist it at all, so she told Qiao Mengmeng what she wanted to hear. "Today I'm going to tell the story of Snow White in a distant kingdom. There was a beautiful Snow White." Of course, Zhang Ziluo will also tell some dreamy fairy tales to the little girl. The little girl listened attentively. After listening, Zhang Ziluo continued to listen patiently. After putting Qiao Mengmeng to sleep, Zhang Ziluo was fully armed, and then quietly used the wood power to go out. Going to Cai's house in the middle of the night. Zhang Ziluo figured out the location of the Cai family during the day. When Zhang Ziluo was walking towards Cai's house, a gust of wind suddenly came up halfway. A man in black wearing a cloak floated past her. Zhang Ziluo was frightened and instinctively became on guard. At this moment, a dart was shot out. Zhang Ziluo watched as the dart landed on the stone wall next to her, with a piece of paper stuck on it. Zhang Ziluo somehow felt that this was for her. She looked at the man in black cloak. This was the man she saw during the day. He was standing on the eaves not far away, his clothes were moving automatically in the wind, and he was very mysterious. He was looking in this direction. Zhang Ziluo didn't feel any murderous intention in him. She reached out and took out the note from the stone wall next to her. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." The Space Doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Feng Yuan Candy. Chapter 299. After seeing Zhang Ziluo take out the note and read it, the man in black cloak disappeared like a gust of wind. For some reason, looking at his figure, Zhang Ziluo felt a strange feeling in her heart. She covered her heart with one hand, feeling a sense of sadness. Who is he? Zhang Ziluo was confused, but she was sure that there was no poison on the dagger and no poison on the paper. She can read the content with confidence. Zhang Ziluo has the wood power, and she can see the contents of the note clearly at night. To Zhang Ziluo's surprise, the note actually told her a lot of information. One is the location of the alchemy iron certificate, the location of the CAI family's gold and silver collection, and the location of the CAI family's grain collection. After seeing the news, Zhang Ziluo was shocked. Isn't it? Who is this person and why should he help her? And this news is not false at first glance. Including the map of the CAI family, it is clear how to walk and how to avoid the hidden guards. This means someone gives you a pillow when you doze off. If she didn't know the location of the iron coupon in the alchemy book and the location where the CAI family's secret guards were hiding, she might suspect that the location written on it was fake. But Xiaolan told her two pieces of information. One was the location of the iron coupon of the alchemy book, and the other was the hiding place of the secret guard. This is all clearly written above. So she can also believe that the other two addresses are also real. Looking at the address on this note, Zhang Ziluo felt a happy feeling in her heart. Who is that person and why do you want to help me? Are you helping me or your grandson Yun Loxia? Or does this person have a grudge against the CAI family? Zhang Ziluo was thinking about this, but she couldn't figure it out clearly. But she could clearly feel just now that this man did not show any murderous intention towards her, nor did he have any malice. Instead, he had a very friendly aura. I don't know if it was her imagination. Instinct made Zhang Ziluo understand that she could trust him. So Zhang Ziluo went to CAI's house first. Knowing where the secret guards were and the map of the CAI family's house, she avoided the secret guards and walked around the CAI family as if they were in an uninhabited land. Zhang Ziluo came to an abandoned house in the backyard of CAI's family. Yes, no one would have thought that the CAI family's iron book of alchemy would be placed here. The more inconspicuous the place, the less people know about the place where the alchemy and iron coupons are found, the better the CAI family can protect the alchemy and iron coupons. I heard that there are countless people who want to get the iron coupon of the alchemy book of the CAI family, but the CAI family has protected the iron coupon of the alchemy book very well from generation to generation. No wonder those people can't get the iron coupon of the alchemy book. Even if someone thought about it in an abandoned house, they probably wouldn't be able to find the switch button. Yes, even though this house is so dilapidated, it is full of institutions. Zhang Ziluo naturally knows how to get through. She walked into it easily, pressed the most critical button, and got the alchemy ticket and some letters from inside. Zhang Ziluo checked it carefully and found that it was indeed true. Then she put it directly in the space, quietly went to the library again, found a few letters that could kill the CAI family, and then walked out of the CAI family. After that, she went to the place where the CAI family hid their gold and silver and where they hid their grain. These two addresses are indeed correct. Because the location is a bit far away, even if Zhang Ziluo hurried, she only reached the house the next morning. When she arrived at the house, she thought she could quietly go to her room, change her clothes, and come out without anyone noticing. Unexpectedly, he saw Yun Loxio accompanying Jiao Mengmeng in the yard. Ahaha, good morning. Zhang Ziluo felt like she was being caught, but although she was a little embarrassed, she tried to stay calm. At this time, Yun Loxio is usually working in the study, so why is she here with Jiao Mengmeng today? And, Jiao Mengmeng saw Zhang Ziluo and ran to her side excitedly to hug her. Yun Loxio seemed to know the doubts in Zhang Ziluo's heart, and explained, Mengmeng woke up before dawn and looked for you, but she cried for a while when she couldn't find you. Chiao Mengmeng covered her eyes with her hands, looking shy, like a mimosa, very cute. Zhang Ziluo touched her hair with a loving expression and said, "It's my aunt's fault. I went out to do some errands, so I'm not in the house." Chiao Mengmeng said, "Auntie, don't worry." She didn't want to cry, but she was afraid that something would happen to her aunt. That bad woman wanted to bully my aunt during the day. "Auntie is fine, don't worry." Zhang Ziluo coaxed Chiao Mengmeng for a while and said to Yun Loxiao, "Let's talk about it later during breakfast." Yun Loxiao nodded and said, "Okay. Actually, you should go to sleep first, and if you have anything to do, wait until you wake up after eating and talking about it." Yun Loxiao could see that Zhang Ziluo looked a little tired. Zhang Ziluo said, "It's okay. The iron coupon of Dan Shu is the most important thing. Don't wait for the Cai family to find out. It's better to let Yun Loxiao know about it as soon as possible and deal with the Cai family as soon as possible." Zhang Ziluo went back to the house to wash up and change her clothes, then took Chiao Mengmeng to eat. While having breakfast, there was no one else in the room, and neither of them avoided Chiao Mengmeng. Zhang Ziluo gave the iron coupon of the alchemy book in her hand to Yun Loxiao. "This is the iron coupon of the alchemy book. And this is the place where the Cai family secretly guards, and this is the Cai family's map. This is where the Cai family hides their gold and silver, this is where their grain is stored." The map, address, etc. were all drawn by Zhang Ziluo. I don't know why, Zhang Ziluo didn't tell Yun Loxiao about the man in black cloak. Yun Loxiao looked at the map, looked at the address, and then opened the alchemy book and the iron coupon, and was shocked. "It's really hard to believe. And the iron certificate of Dan Shu is true. That's what you went out to get last night." Zhang Ziluo nodded and said, "I still know a little bit about the mechanism formation. I saw the Cai family's mechanism formation, and then I found it in the secret room. But it's true for the Cai family, the secret room only contains the alchemy book, there is nothing else, and the gold and silver are not in the secret room. You may not have thought that the Cai family did not hide important things in the study and bedroom." Yun Loxiao looked at Zhang Ziluo gratefully and said, "Thank you very much. These things are very important. It is indeed very important and solves a big problem on his mind." Yun Loxiao hasn't had a good night's sleep or rest these past few days because she's been thinking about the Cai family. Once the Cai family's affairs are settled, there will be nothing wrong with Jiangzhou's affairs. Jiangzhou was completely in his hands. There are also letters, and there is evidence to convict the Cai family. Yun Loxiao once again admired Zhang Ziluo. Zhang Ziluo gave these things to Yun Loxiao and left them alone. When Chiao Mengmeng walked out of the living room, only Yun Loxiao and Zhang Ziluo were in the room. Zhang Ziluo couldn't help but ask, "Isn't it hard to take care of Mengmeng?" Yun Loxiao shook her head and said seriously, "No, I used to have too many responsibilities on my shoulders, and it was Mengmeng who helped me relax. She is well behaved and sensible, and she also brings me a lot of happiness. So why is it hard?" Seeing Chiao Mengmeng laughing and making trouble, he would relax a little. So now, he has regained his identity and let Chiao Mengmeng call him daddy. Zhang Ziluo looked at Yun Loxiao's expression and knew that he was telling the truth. She thought that it was rare for him to maintain his original intention while sitting in that position and taking on such a big responsibility. He would definitely be a good emperor. The space doctor became the favorite of the exiled powerful minister. Author, Fenyuan Kandi. Chapter 300. Zhang Ziluo was indeed very sleepy at this time. She handed the things to Yun Loxiao and left the Cai family matters to Yun Loxiao, while she went back to her room to sleep. She didn't sleep all night and she was really sleepy now. Zhang Ziluo lay on the bed and fell asleep instantly. Zhang Ziluo slept deeply this time. When I woke up again, it was evening. Zhang Ziluo stretched out, I slept very deeply and comfortably this time. Yes, since she came to Zhangzhou, she has also been very busy checking out news about the Wei family and looking for evidence to vindicate the Wei family. In addition to taking care of Meng Meng, I also get up early and go to bed late. Actually, I don't get enough sleep most of the time. But she was probably thinking about something, so even if she didn't get enough sleep, she would wake up automatically when the rooster crows in the morning. There was no sound outside this night, it was very quiet, and I was probably really tired, so I slept peacefully. When Zhang Ziluo got up to clean up and wash up, she saw Xiao Mengmeng squatting in the yard at her door and counting ants. She was stunned for a moment. Mengmeng. Hearing her aunt's voice, Xiao Mengmeng stood up excitedly, ran over and hugged Zhang Ziluo excitedly, looked up at Zhang Ziluo and said, "Auntie is awake." Xiao Mengmeng's eyes are particularly bright. As soon as Zhang Ziluo woke up and saw Xiao Meng's soft and cute look, she was in a good mood. She pressed it against her cheek. The little girl's skin was full of collagen and was very white and tender. Besides, being liked and relied on by the little girl gives me a feeling of being needed. This made her want to pamper Xiao Mengmeng. Zhang Ziluo touched Xiao Mengmeng's hair and said, "You have been staying in the yard and not going out to play." Xiao Mengmeng nodded and said, "Well, I have to wait for my aunt to wake up. When my aunt is sleeping, she really doesn't know what to do. She likes to play with her aunt." Zhang Ziluo thought that the little girl might be bored now that she was not in class and had no playmates. She is thinking about setting up a kindergarten and installing some things for children to play, such as seesaws and slides, and teaching children to play games together. Otherwise, Xiao Mengmeng couldn't stick to her all the time. Furthermore, when talking to Yun Loxiao about Xiao Mengmeng, Yun Loxiao doted on Xiao Mengmeng and protected her. She completely believed that when Yun Loxiao sat on the throne in the future, she would probably treat Xiao Mengmeng like a princess. But as a princess, you can't be incapable of knowing everything. Must be able to read and write. In fact, Zhang Ziluo originally felt sorry for Xiao Mengmeng and didn't want her to learn anything. She just wanted her to enjoy her childhood and have fun. But she found that this would also make Xiao Mengmeng bored. If the kindergarten learns some interesting things, it may make Xiao Mengmeng very happy. So Zhang Ziluo is thinking about setting up a kindergarten. Or we can build some amusement facilities. Also invite that kind of master to teach. Teaching should be learned and not rigid. Zhang Ziluo didn't want Xiao Mengmeng and the others to feel pressured to study and study. She also thought of her younger brothers and sisters. But she has already written to them. Also wrote letters to Kui Hejin and Mrs. Kui Qingkai. Calculating the time, the letters should have arrived. Now my parents should feel comfortable letting their younger brothers study, and can send them to private schools for enlightenment. Zhang Ziluo remembered that Xiao Mengmeng liked to listen to the stories she told. Can she write some children's story books to make it easier for children to read? Thinking of this, Zhang Ziluo also realized that the books in bookstores in this era were almost all books for scholars, and there were very few children's enlightenment books. Of course, in this era, children's enlightenment books are also the kind of 3-character classics with 1,000-character text. The enlightenment book she thought of was that kind of storybook. Storybooks that interest children. And there is no pinyin in this era. Since Zhang Ziluo thought of this, she decided to do this. Zhang Ziluo smiled and looked at Xiao Mengmeng and said, "We Mengmeng are so good. Are you anxious here waiting for your aunt to wake up?" Xiao Mengmeng nodded and said, "Yes, but Mengmeng also wants her to sleep well and not to disturb her." Zhang Ziluo kissed her little cheek, "She is so sensible and well behaved." Xiao Mengmeng smiled shyly and kissed Zhang Ziluo's cheek gently. She hugged Zhang Ziluo's neck, looking very dependent on her. She likes to be with her aunt. But she also misses her father, but she knows that he is also very busy. Dad doesn't have a good rest. Where's Aunt Lin who takes care of you? Mother Lin went to get me something to eat, because she was afraid that I would be hungry. Mother Lin is the person arranged by Yun Loxiao to take care of Jiao Mengmeng on weekdays. Mother Lin was a former member of the prince's mansion, so Yun Loxiao trusted her very much. Of course, through observation, Zhang Ziluo also knew that Nanny Lin also treated Jiao Mengmeng sincerely and took good care of Jiao Mengmeng. Zhang Ziluo washed up and prepared to take Jiao Mengmeng to the front yard for dinner. At this moment, Nanny Lin ran over with something in her hand. Mother Lin, why did you come here so late? Grandma Lin explained, the people in the kitchen came back late, so it took some time to get the things. Zhang Ziluo frowned, but what happened? Lin Yan said, no case girls have happened to the Cai family. Someone said something on the street. Just say whatever you say. Nanny Lin nodded and said, yes, someone is making trouble on the street, saying that His Highness Taizhun did not obey the orders of Emperor Taizhu, and actually sent people to surround the Cai family, saying that the Cai family is the one who has the Iron Book of Alchemy, and His Highness Taizhun, if the Cai family is punished, it will not be orthodox and will never be recognized by Emperor Taizhu. Mama Lin's voice became quieter and quieter as she spoke. Zhang Ziluo's lips curved with sarcasm, it's just a trick of the Cai family, what now? Public opinion soon changed. Now people on the street are saying that the Cai family has no ironclad alchemy book at all. The Cai family relies on the fact that no one knows the real news because the emperor is far away, so they deliberately spread rumors. This is deceiving the emperor. He said that the Cai family would never be able to come up with the iron coupon of the alchemy book, and that the iron coupon of the alchemy book could not be imitated at all if the Cai family could produce it. Even the grandson would dare to let the common people watch. And the people from the Yamen posted notices on the streets with evidence of what the Cai family had committed over the years. It's just that there was a lot of noise outside, so the people doing the shopping in the kitchen came back late. I just brought some hot snacks for Miss Jiao and cousin Yu to eat. Yes, Zhang Ziluo's identity has not been exposed for the time being. No one knew that she was related to the Wei family. Yun Loxiao said to the outside world that she was the cousin of the family. Of course, although everyone has speculations about her identity, no one can confirm anything. Who makes His Highness Taizhun have great trust in this person? And Miss Jiao is still so clingy. So much so that no one dared to make a mistake in front of Zhang Ziluo. Zhang Ziluo nodded. Taizhun would definitely handle this little matter. How is it now? I heard that the person who led the trouble in the street was arrested. Everyone looked at the notice and believed Taizhun, and the people who were incited also dispersed. Zhang Ziluo said, the Cai family has been sealed up. It hasn't been sealed yet, but it's just surrounded by soldiers, preventing the Cai family from coming out.